Alright, and we're back. And now we're going to attempt to not die. I'm going to dump some of this stuff in here. And I'm going to attempt to pull something out of this crucible. From the last video, it's only been a few minutes. I hope I talked enough in the last video making our juicer that this thing has cooled off. So I can pull this out of here without dying. Let's take off my armor. I don't have fire protection, do I? Oh, I do. Let's leave that on, just in case. God, I hate doing this. Oh, thank God. Okay, give me all the stuff. I can stop worrying now. Alright, so the graphite we're going to mortar down. Since we made our mortar last time. Sort of. Why'd I just do that? We're doing it anyways, don't worry about it. Alright, so now we're going to pull our iron scrap out that we got from our magnetite. And we've got a little bit of wrought iron apparently in here. Wait a minute. Oh, that is 9, okay. I thought it said 4. And this can all be mortared too, so you can deal with it a little more easily instead of having all these scraps in your inventory. Alright, so we're going to turn this into iron dust and copper dust. And now we can actually make steel. Now you get 25 steel from 1 graphite. So if I cut that into smalls, that would be 12 for 2, 6-ish for 1. I only have 3 at the moment. So I need to get the rest of it. So I don't have any extra graphite left over. I will probably cook this with these ingots over here. Let's see. We'll do 7 of them. And that should give me a little bit of steel left over at the end. So let's give this a try. We're going to use these, and then we're going to cut this into smalls. And we'll use one of them, which is like 6 point something. I've never tried to divide 25 by 9 to figure out what that number is. It would be 3 and something. 2 and something? 3 times 9 is 27. So, it'd be close. We're going to go ahead and make the first steel now. And do I have any more coal left? That's going to be the question here. I have some coal, but it is in ore form. So we can't use that. But I do need to show you guys how to do this, so I guess we'll take the opportunity. So, stone hammer. Not that table. Stone hammer. You cannot use stone blocks anymore. You have to use rocks. And we'll make a stone hammer. Now, when I was out there mining from the coal vein, I got some of these nice lignite coal sand, And I also got some lignite blocks. So what you would typically do is do this while you're mining, because this is a waste of durability on your pickaxe to mine them, bring them back, break them with a hammer. So you actually would use the hammer out there, but for me to show you guys, I need to bring them back here. And yes, before you guys say it, I know I need to clean out my inventory. I also got some sand coal, and there is also some regular coal here as well, which I'm going to break 2 of these. And I think this should be enough to get me up to temperature. So we're going to use the steel crucible. Technically shouldn't be using it yet, because I haven't made my first steel. But we have sat here and watched me painfully use this lead one long enough. So that thing is painfully slow. It's a lot safer, but it's painful. Alright, so heat this up. I should have nothing on top. I don't have my sand. Let me get my sand. Always have a piece of sand to shut it off with. I also, there's my copper. Okay. Always keep a piece of copper. Copper won't mix with iron. Lead is also a really good one to use for this, because lead will suck up a lot of heat. You don't want to use tin. Tin will make tin alloy. But copper or lead, either one works great. I always keep them on hand to throw in, since I'm doing this without a thermometer. And I do believe those 2 coal should get us close to heating this up, but shouldn't get us all the way there. Just to be safe, let's grab a few of these coins, just in case that copper isn't enough. Now the only problem with this is I'm hoping it's all going to form, because I threw the graphite in already. Normally I'd save the graphite for afterwards, but I think there's enough in there that this is going to form. Alright, so now we're going to put, let's actually do this a little bit safer. Oh, I can't do that. Never mind. Alright, let's throw this in then. Lignite takes longer to cook, or it cooks up quicker. So this 1 copper, or maybe even a copper coin, might be enough to get it to shut off. I don't think I'll have to use all 3 of those. And as soon as I get this batch done, I'm going to make a pair of pincers. That way I can pull out of the mold faster. I don't like using bronze for tools. Are you kidding me? That thing still isn't ready? Alright, well, we got these 2. Throw them in there. And if this doesn't do it, we got tree bark. We'll get tree bark after this. I'm just hoping that graphite doesn't come back to bite me in the ass, because graphite will not melt until way over. Let's make sure we can't pour. Alright, we can't pour iron. As long as we can't pour iron out of there, we're still not up to temperature. So we're still good. Let's go ahead and break Have any more lignite? I don't. Let's break 2 more coal here. And let's put them in there. And 10. A couple of these. Now this most definitely should be enough to get me up to temperature. Not up to iron temperature yet because it's not pouring the iron. Give a few and see if it lets me pour the iron. I'm not real worried about wasting coal because, well, the more coal I use. Okay, we're definitely at iron temperature. So I want to watch that and see if it turns to steel. Which, crap, it can't turn to steel. Hold on. Iron. Can't turn to steel because I have the iron out. Get in there. Okay, now it can turn to steel. Now I'm going to need more coal, probably. This should be long enough. Okay, iron plate. Good. We didn't die. Alright, there we go. So that is now steel. We need to turn that off. And pour a plate. We're going to throw a little bit of copper in here. Suck up some of that heat. I would much rather have to... There we go. See the smoke particles are still coming through the sand. I would much rather have to turn this back on than have it blow up on me. So there is my first steel plate. And now I can just take this tree bark. It burns up really quick like. So I can throw it in here. Light it up. Take out my steel plate. Let that get the steel back up to temperature. Let it go just a little bit above. Turn it off. There's my copper I put in. And it's going to take a bit to come out. Then I can pour the rest of it. You can make a hopper that'll do this automatically, but that's a little slow. Pincers are much better. So here's the wire cutters. Another one of the tools we didn't make when we made the tool video. We're going to need these here in a minute. We also want to make the pincers now that we've made our first steel. So we need 2 curved plates, a screw, and 2 rods. So before we can actually make the pincers, we have to make a bending cylinder. So let's get that made now. We're going to use brass just because I have some. Typically, probably use steel at this point. Bending cylinder. How them tools go again? Hammer, file, saw. Okay. Saw and hammer. So there's our bending cylinder. And we want this tool to have a lot of durability. Stop that. So we're going to use the steel for it. So we need 2 curved plates. There. Well, this. So there's our curve plates. And then we need a screw, which at this point, to make screws, you're going to have to cut bolts with a file. I have some from scavenging, so that's what we're using. You can cut rods into bolts, but you're much better off to pour them in a mold. Doesn't use durability on your tool to do so. So you're much better off doing it that way. So screwdriver and hammer for this. There is our pincers. Now the steel is probably cooled back off. Copper is definitely cooled off. Let's go ahead and see how much. Actually, let's switch that around this way. How much tree bark we got left in here? Oh, we got a pretty good load. Yeah, we got 13 in there. Let's see if we can get this back up to temperature here. And pull the rest of the steel out now. If I had made 2, I would have only needed 1. Because, see, now you're doing it to me this way. Now you're going to need like 3. If I only make them 1 at a time, it'll take 1,000,000. Alright, so we're going to heat this up. Hopefully be able to get our steel to pour. Hopefully there's enough tree bark in there. If not, we got a bunch of sticks, we can throw some of them in there too. Anything that does really, really low power is what we want to cook with at this point. So no charcoal, no coal. I don't even like using full lignite at this point. Alright, so went through all of that. I have a bunch of sticks right here. And so we're going to throw them in there. We're going to use them. Wait a minute. Come here, sticks. You only get about half of you. I gotta make fire starters. Here we go again. Matches are a wonderful thing, by the way. Find a phosphorus vein, make matches. Freaking fire starters suck. Okay. You're done. You're off. Right? No more particles. Alright. And there we go. No damage from the heat. So now we have our steel. So now we can actually make our sifting table. So we have the screws. We don't have long rods, but I'm actually holding out on making more molds at the moment. So I didn't make a long rod mold. I do have short rods down here. I can hammer them together into long rods. So there we go. Alright. So we have the long rods. We need a double plate. So we'll do this. That'll make our double plate. And then we need just the fine wire now. So, fine wire is going to be the wire cutters we made a minute ago with steel foil. Steel foil is going to be a plate, hammer, bending cylinder, which will only give you 2. Now, when you get to machines, you can get more out of it. For right now, this is what we got to do. sometimes you do what you gotta do. Even if you gotta do it in the dark. Thought that was funny. Come on, y'all. You gotta laugh at that. That was funny. Yeah, I didn't figure anybody was laughing at that. It was a bad joke. Alright, so 2 steel wire. And yes, at this point I'm talking to myself. And then we need our screws. Screws. Right table. There's too many tables. Alright, 2 screws. And then hammer. Screwdriver. Screwdriver. Screwdriver and wire cutters. And I'm guessing wire cutters went down here. Yes, they did. There we go. Now we have a sifting table. Now, this is an absolutely wonderful thing, because now we can sift our sand ores. If you look at the sand ore, it says contains who frickin' knows what. That means don't throw it in the daggone crucible. You're going to lose it. And I don't believe you can burn it. I wouldn't try it. Probably lose it too. But you can sift it and you will get, like here I got 2 purified coal, lignite coal, and I got germanium. And germanium will be a great thing for making advanced crafting tables and other storage things out of. Second one, I just got 2. So this is a nice way of doubling your sand ores. And I have stantonite, coal, copper, huberite, but that's not going to do us any good, so I won't be doing it. Cassiterite, which will give us tin. Kesterite, stantonite, and kesterite is 1 unit of 1 nugget of copper. And then tetra, which is a chunk of copper per. So I'm not going to be using any more of the stone ores until I absolutely have to. I'm going to use as many sand ores as possible from the beaches I have out there and use my sifting table to double them. And then I'll use a crusher when I get to that point. Now, another thing we can do, manganese plates. We do not have any. We do have lead, though. Another thing we can do with the sifting table is throw this lead in here. It cooled off too much. Let's get the ash out of the way. Get your ash out of my way, mister. Let's grab some of this lignite we just got done making. Throw it in here. And we're going to make some lead. A little bit of lead for your head. Most of you are probably too young to even know what that is. Damn kids. Damn fire starters, fuck. These are annoying. I mentioned how much I don't like these things. Alright, so there's a little bit of steel or graphite 1 still in here. So we're just going to sit here and kind of spam this, because we won't see the lead until it's up to whatever temperature that crap is in there. There isn't a ladle or a way of pulling the scrap out that won't hurt you, other than like a fire potion or a heat suit I don't have fire potions, and we don't have heat suits. So, as of right now, there's no way for me to pull that scrap out until I know it is good and cold. Alright, so what we're going to do now is make a hopper. And we're going to need 3 of these curved. This file up here. Get our bending cylinder back out. And our stone hammer. These are going to go like so. These are going to go here. We're going to make a chest. Throw these in here. That multicolored chest. Beautiful thing. And now we need our wrench. Always get that wrong. Hopper. So the other thing we can do, now I gotta figure out where I put my diamond pickaxe. I don't use it for mining, I only use it when I need to tear up my floor around here. So don't always remember where the hell I put it. I did try to organize stuff a little bit, and I'm not that great at organizing. Alright, so we're going to put this hopper under here. We're going to face it on that. Really? That's not where I told you to go, mister. You gotta love it when things don't listen to you. Kind of like trying to deal with Crazy and Junior. Just don't listen to nothing. Alright. Under there. Thank you. Alright, so we'll put that back in. We're going to take this block out now. Yeah, give me my block. Thank you. And let's dump these off in here. Put my armor back on, get that out of my inventory. We'll make a second chest now. Yes, we could have made both these at the same time. Hush it, I'm old, I forgot. It happens. It'll happen to you one day. And there's our chest. So now what we can do is not have to sit here and pull everything off the shelf. The hopper will take care of it and dump it in the chest for us. So we have now automated the sifting table except for the actual sifting part. And if you are like some lazy people, you will use the accessibility option in Windows to revert your mouse keys and just let it sit here so you don't have to touch it. Or the old caveman way of doing it, sit something heavy on your actual mouse, let it do it that way. I think there's other ways of doing it too. Somebody once told me you could use scroll lock, something like that, and stop it from doing it. But you can just sit here and sift away your ores. And now I have plenty of coal and lignite that I can use for cooking up more stuff. And basically getting more dark ash to get me more iron. Because that is, at this point, the only reason to be using coal. I could be using wood or sticks, charcoal once I make a coke oven, but none of that stuff gives dark ash, none of that can make iron. So at this point, I need to use a lot to be doing this. And that is it for today. done plenty. Next time we're going to look at another way of getting dark ash from our coal. We'll see you then.